Apparently my tablet decided to shut itself off for some reason. Well, I guess you're going to look at me for a couple of minutes while I tell my story. See, I did Volkswagens for 25 years. I basically started in 74 when I got out of the Army, and I did them all the way up till about 1998 was when I got bit by a tick, and I got Lyme's disease, and I just said, heck with it. The wife and I decided to, she got, she decided she didn't like not having heat in the wintertime. We lived in New York, so it basically was like every wintertime, no matter what I did to the cars, we just couldn't seem to get any heat out of the darn things. And she was driving like 30 miles a day, well, one way to go to work and freezing her butt off in the wintertime. So her sister gave her a Honda Civic, and so we switched over to the Honda Civics. And as the Volkswagen started to die on us one at a time, I just couldn't keep up with the mechanics on them. I mean, that's all I did for 25 years was I would buy Volkswagens, fix them up, sell them, and buy another one, fix it and sell it, and buy another one. And as I said, I owned 300 of the guys until until about the last one I got was a 1971 bus, which I had traded to a friend of mine for a VW thing that I had owned for about. We got the VW thing when we first met, my last wife and I. We traded it for the front end of her 65 VW Beetle, believe it or not. The guy needed the front end for his car, and he was like, oh, I just want to get the thing out of here. So basically I said, well, if you want to, we'll trade the front end out of the 65 Bug for the thing. And he said, yes. So I went over with it didn't have an engine, and he had the wrong rims on the front because the VW thing rims are offset. He put 5 lug nut rims on there, but they were Beetle rims. And if you use the regular Beetle rims, it turns out they dig into the tie rods on the VW thing, and were a nice. It's like a grinder. It actually grinded a big groove right into the tie rods, the original tie rods. So after driving it for a while, I kept noticing it was making a grinding sound in the front. Couldn't figure out what it was, so I pulled the tires off, and that's when I noticed it. It was a good thing I found it when I did, because it was getting ready to let loose. So actually, it's not the tie rod. I think it was actually the top torsion bar, or whatever the things are that connect up to the brake drums. So it was causing a problem. Anyway, I fixed it. I ended up getting a set of VW thing rims, and I ended up replacing the part that got grooved, and but yeah, first thing we did was I brought a motor over and I rebuilt it and put it in the car so we could drive it. That's what I said. You give me a toolbox, a set of plates, and a battery, and basically you could drop me off anywhere, and a couple hours later I'd be driving home. Of course, the police didn't like that too much, because normally I didn't have insurance, and the car wasn't actually legally registered that I was driving, and police used to pull me over a lot and say, oh, is this one legal? Or, and I'd have to be sitting there like, no, because they'd be asking me for my license, registration, and insurance, and which after a while, they actually took my license because I had so many tickets. They finally suspended my driver's license. But that was back in the 80s when I was young and a little bit more braver, I guess you'd call it. As I got older, I stopped doing that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, she liked to name the cars, and people, I'm sure at some point people are going to say, aren't you going to name your cars? You've got so many of them. And it's kind of hard. I mean, because of the feelings and everything we had, I just have a hard time naming cars. If somebody wants to come up with names for my cars, and I might go ahead and, you know, put them, tag them and some stuff. But for now, it's they're the silver car, the blue car, the tan car, whatever color the car is. Of course, considering I have four blue cars, counting the dark blue one over there somewhere. Yeah, that dark blue one. I actually have four blue cars and three light blues and the silver. I have two tans, and I only have one yellow now. The first yellow car I own, New Beetle car that I own, I brought down from New York, and I took the engine out of it and put it in a silver convertible, not this silver, but a different silver. And at that time, I really wasn't working on the cars yet, so when I got the motor put in, it had all sorts of problems, and it turned out, now I know why it had all the problems it did, but I didn't know then, and I didn't really think I was going to end up working on them as much as I had been, so I sold it cheap, and I've been kicking myself in the butt. That was my second new Beetle, so, now I'm up to, 15, I think, and I know a little bit more now, so. But anyway, the deal is, as I said, I'm working on the cars slowly but surely, and I'm hoping that I'm going to probably put a link for the. I'd like to call him my friend because we've been kind of bantering back and forth. He was talking to me about my first Volkswagen, which was a '64 Beetle. My parents sold me when I got out of the Army in '74 for $269. And the funny story about that is it ended up, I was driving down this road, and it was raining, and it actually flooded the road, and I ended up hydroplaning into the back end of a '64 Chevrolet Impala. Now, ask me how I knew it was a '64 Chevrolet Impala, and my best friend since like second grade owned one. And normally I couldn't identify a car other than a Volkswagen to save my life. But when I saw the three taillights on both sides and the rear end, I said, oh, I know that car. It wasn't his, of course, it was somebody else's, but my front end ended up being under his rear end, which if it had been jacked up like one more inch, he took my front trunk lid as it was and shoved it through my front windshield. If he had been jacked up another inch, it would have probably shoved the front windshield in so far it would have decapitated me. So I wouldn't be even having this conversation at this point. And that would have been sad, I guess. I don't know. The jury's out on that one. Oh gosh. Yeah. Anyway. So I've been doing Volkswagen since 1974. Basically, like I said, I own 300 of the old beasties. I love those cars. Those were way easy to work on. These are not so easy, of course. I've been beating on them for a while now, and unfortunately, being 66, things don't bend the way they used to, and I'm not as young as I used to be. I can't juggle. I used to juggle Volkswagen motors like no problem. These guys weigh about 500 pounds, and I'm not Hercules or anyone you could think of that can bench press $500. Ain't happening. If one of these, I had a Volkswagen motor drop on me when I was working under a the old Volkswagen, and basically I just picked up the motor and shoved it off my chest. These motors, if they drop on my chest, I'm going to be probably da da da. Now that's the, well, same idea, marriage. uh, da, 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 da. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. These days, since I've been married 4 times, it's almost either tune is a death march for me at this point. So yeah, I like working on Volkswagens. It's a hobby, but so the guy who I'm talking to on YouTube is Duckman Cycles and VWs. He used to just work on cycles, and I guess he expanded out to Volkswagens, and he's found that about the same thing I have. That these guys are so easy to work on. You know, whatever I call them souped up lawnmowers, and that's all they really are, is just a souped up lawnmower. You know, you basically can drop the motor out in 15 minutes if you know what you're doing and you have the thing set up correctly. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'll probably put his link down in the below in the topics of the section that describes the video, and you know, I really would love to have some comments or, you know, likes or whatever you'd like to say. You know, like I said, if you want to name my cars for me, that'd be, you know, that's great too. You know, I just don't really have the heart for it anymore. I may someday decide to do it again, but well, there you go. I made 2 videos today. One was about the car, and one was about me. So, like I said, like, comment. You know, if you have anything to say about my project here, you know, I'm sure somebody's going to say, "Why'd you cut up the car?" And I probably will, if I haven't said it before in one of my earlier videos, maybe I'll talk about that more in my next one. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you like looking at my face instead of the Volkswagens today. I'm getting old, darn. There you go. Talk to you later. Bye.